Hi everyone, this is your second class on industrial relation. Today I will talk on role on industrial relation and reason of poor industrial relation. After that I will move to another topic which is industrial dispute, its concept and principle, and finally causes of industrial dispute. It will be our last topic for today's discussion. So, what are the role may be present in a industrial relation? Before the industrial revolution, organization pay very less attention to the workers' relationship with the management and with each other. They treated the labor as machine and concentrated on their production capability and efficiency. Later, in this year, in 1920, some researchers introduced the concept of industrial relations, which emphasize the impact of labor relations with the management and the employer on the productivity of the organization. In the modern day business world, where the companies are becoming more people oriented and work continuously for achieving employee satisfaction and retention, the study of industrial relations play a significant role in the organization. Reason for poor industrial relation. Industrial relation is often found poor in industrial organization. Several factors cause poor industrial relation. These factors are viewed differently but different by different groups, both within and outside an organizational context. Some of the major reasons for poor industrial relation are economic causes, organization causes, social causes, psychological causes. Employer-employee relations seen is not satisfactory and it is visible from frequent strike, gherav, lockout and other forms of industrial dispute. Several economic, social, psychological, technological and political factors are responsible for poor industrial relation. So one by one I will discuss each of them. First one will be economic causes. Poor wages and poor working conditions are the main reason for unhealthy relations among management and labor. Unauthorized deduction from wages, lack of fringe benefits, absence of promotional opportunities, dissatisfaction with job evaluation and performance appraisal methods, faulty incentive scheme are the different economic causes. When employers deny equitable and fair remuneration and good working and living condition to the working class, trade unions agitate and industrial peace is distributed. Inadequate infrastructural facility, worn out plant and machinery, poor layout, unsatisfactory maintenance and other physical and technical causes also contribute to industrial conflict. The second cause will be organizational causes. Faulty communication system, dilution of supervision and common non-recognition of trade union, unfair practice, violation of collective agreement and standing orders and labor laws are the organizational causes of poor relations in industry. Social causes. Factory system and specialization have made worker a subordinate to the machine. Worker has lost sense of pride and satisfaction in the job. Tensions and conflicts in society, breakup of joint family system, growing intolerance have also led to poor employer-employee relations. Dissatisfaction with job and personal life culminate into industrial conflict. Psychological causes: lack of job security, poor organizational culture, non-recognition of merit and performance, authoritative administration, and poor interpersonal relations are the psychological reason for unsatisfactory employer-employee relations. Political causes: political nature of trade unions, multiple unions and inter-union rivalry weaken trade union movement. They are the political cause, which causes industrial dispute. In the absence of strong and responsible trade unions, collective bargaining becomes ineffective. The union state is reduced to a mere strike committee. The outsider who become union leader by making wild promises to workers make excessive demand on employees. When employers do not accept their demands, conflict arises, spoiling the employer-employee relations climate in the country. Poor industrial relations are harmful for all. Industrial conflict reduces productivity of labor. Quantity and quality of work suffer and cost rise. Industrial discipline break down and labor turnover and absenteeism increase. Working class suffer due to industrial decline. They find it very difficult to get improved with wastage and working condition. Many of them lose job and promotions. They get frustrated and demoralized. Employers face resistance to changes in the technology and organizational structure. Industry, economy, and society are interdependent. Therefore, industrial strike has multiplier effect on the economy and society. Social tension and law and order problem, drinking and gambling and other social evils tends to rise in an atmosphere of poor industrial relation. Now we move to a new topic, it is industrial dispute. In common practice, dispute means difference on disagreement or disagreement of strike over some issues between the parties. As regards individual or industrial dispute, since its settlement proceeds as per the legal provision contained in the Industrial Dispute Act 1947, hence it seems pertinent to study the concept of industrial dispute from a legislative angle. According to Section 2K of the Industrial Dispute Act 1947, the term industrial dispute means any dispute or difference between employer and employees or between employers and workmen, between workmen and workmen, which is connected with the employment or non-employment or the terms of employment and condition of employment of any person. The above definition is too broad and include differences even between groups of workmen and employees or employers engaged in an industry. However, in practice, industrial dispute mainly relate to the difference between the workmen and the employers. Dispute differs from discipline and grievance. While disciplines and grievance focus on individuals, dispute focus on collectivity of individuals. In other words, the test of industrial dispute is that the interest of all or majority of workmen is involved in it. The following principles judge the nature of an industrial dispute. The dispute must affect a large number of workmen who have a community of interest, and the rights of these workmen must be affected as a class. The dispute must be taken up either by the industry union or by a substantial number of workmen. The grievance turns from individual complaint into a general complaint. There must be some nexus between the union and the dispute. According to Section 2A of Industrial Dispute Act 1947, a workman has a right to raise an industrial dispute with regards to termination, discharge, dismissal, or retrenchment of his or her service, even though no other workman or any trade union of workman or any trade union of workmen raises it or is a party to the dispute. There are certain kinds of disputes. How we can categorize the industrial dispute depending upon its purpose. Based on the objective behind an industrial dispute, we can distinguish it into the following four broad categories. They are discussed one by one. The first one will be interest dispute. These disputes are also called economic dispute. Such type of dispute arises out of terms and conditions of employment, either out of the claim or arise of the term and condition of employment, either out of the claim made by the employees or offers given by the employers. Such demand or offers are generally made with a view to arrive at a collective agreement. Example of interest dispute are layoff, claims for wages and bonus, job security, fringe benefit, etc. The second one will be grievance or right dispute. As the name itself suggests, grievance or right dispute arise out of application or interpretation of existing agreement or contract between the employees and the management. They relate either to individual worker or a group of workers in the same group. That's why in some countries such disputes are also called individual dispute. Payment of wages and other fringe benefits, working time, overtime, seniority, promotion, demotion, dismissal, discipline, transfer, etc. are the example of grievance or a right dispute. Recognition dispute. Sometimes for this negotiation, the management deny identifying the trade unions. Even when there are many trade unions in an organization, each one of them struggle to get recognized by the management. Unfair labor practice dispute. The dispute over the unethical treatment of the management towards the labor, such as discriminating them for holding membership of trade union, restricting communication, employing new workers during strikes, and denial to bargain are called unfair labor practice dispute. If these grievances are not settled as per the procedure laid down for this purpose, these then result in betterment of the working relationship and a climate for industrial strife and unrest. Such grievances are often settled through laid down standard procedure like the provision of collective agreement, employment contract, work rule of law or custom usage in this regards. Besides, labor court or tribunals also adjudicate over grievance or interest dispute. Generally, industrial disputes are considered as unhealthy. These are manifested in the form of strike and lockout, loss of production and property, suffering to workers and consumers, and so on. But sometimes industrial disputes are beneficial as well. It is the dispute mainly which open up the mind of employers who then provide better working condition and emolument to the worker. At times, disputes bring out the causes to the knowledge of the public where their opinion help resolve them. What are the reasons behind an industrial dispute? Even the smallest of the reason can contribute to the raising of conflict in an organizational setup if it impact to the respondent to a great extent. Let us have an in-depth analysis of each of these causes by reaching out to the roots of industrial dispute. Economic causes. The ultimate aim of the labor is to earn their livings and meeting their economic ends, whereas for the business it is generating profit. Therefore, on the non-fulfillment of these needs, industrial dispute can take place between the management and the labor. It includes demanding a high wage, increasing the profit, bonus and allowances, replacing machinery, improving working condition, duration and other necessary facilities. The second cause will be managerial cause. Lack of administrative support and attention towards labor leads to industrial dispute. Following are the various managerial causes of industrial dispute, such as retrenchment or layout of the worker without any reason, the inefficiency of the management to initiate leadership in the work organization, poorly built and dissatisfying recruitment policies and practices. The employer does not comply with the agreement and codes such as code of discipline and collective bargaining. The management does not acknowledge the trade union as a representative of the union members, that is the workmen. Third cause would be government machinery. At times, the government lacked as a suitable strategy to address industrial dispute. Some of the drawbacks of the government machinery which leads to industrial conflict are the need for growth and development is not considered seriously, difficulties in dealing with industrial culture and climate changes. The employers might or merely apply their settlement machinery. There is a low level of trust of the employers and the employees over the government settlement machinery. Voluntary arbitration. The word arbitration refers to the settlement of any dispute mutually with the help of an arbitrator. Thus, in voluntary arbitration, there is a third party involved in the settlement policy. Its decision can be biased or unacceptable by the other party, which can result in further conflict. Next will be the wage board. The Indian government has set up wage board for determining the suitable wages of the workmen or labor. When the workmen are dissatisfied with their remuneration, there arises a condition of an industrial dispute. Joint Management Council, JMC. The government created joint management councils which consist of equal representatives of both the parties to deal with the workers' problem, but the idea failed due to lack of efficiency and progress. There may be other causes for which the industrial dispute may occur. Various other causes of the industrial disputes are weak and multiple trade union result in more conflicts. Influence of the political party in power supporting a particular trade union leads to conflict. The adverse effect of the relationship with the central and state government, unstable political condition and everyday responsibility results in industrial dispute. In some organizations, collective bargaining is not allowed since the workmen are not even permitted to make trade union. Other reasons can be corruption, apparent consumption, role conflicts, etc. So, today's class or today's discussion is over. Tomorrow I will come with some other facts on industrial dispute. Thank you.